unsung narrative. Young, dumb American, arrogant, throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting a fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system taints it. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defined, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. At every bar, even though my bar's been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest. But I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops my soul.
It's Tuesday, everybody! Sports Nonsense and Whiskey coming at you, minus one of our favorite people. Had some family things, so we're going to be covering a lot of unique topics this evening, because we won't have the terrible takes on NBA and NHL. Love you, Caleb. Just kidding.
Hold on. I had a horrible take so that we would have one for the show.
We're
Are you
gonna
ready?
have one. Let's lay it on me, Pinky. Bring it.
Nebraska Cornhusker football is going to the playoffs. Psych. We know that shit ain't happening. Got you guys. Got you.
You thought we had a Go Big Red there fan for just a moment, but we all know Pinky's loyal to Miami for whatever reason, so it's fine.
To the U, baby. To the U.
Great episode this week, everyone. Lots to talk about for some of the normal things we don't usually get to cover here. Just being down to guys, so we don't have our hockey, basketball genius, if you will. So Pinky and I are going to operate within our realms, touch on things just a little bit. But first and foremost, Pinky, how's the long weekend, my man? Did you have a good one? Because I had a great one.
Not long enough, my friend. Not long enough. I needed that. I needed one more day. I really needed that one more day. But you know,
my man.
It didn't happen. It's all right. I got to spend time in the mountains. The weather was beautiful. I got to spend time with my beautiful wife. It was our anniversary weekend.
Woo!
I got to drink a lot and hang out in the hot springs. You know me. My wife thinks it's really weird. I love hot boiling water, and I like sitting in it. It's what
awesome.
I like to do.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
It makes me feel things, definitely. So
that's good.
So yeah,
I'm
it's
happy
great
for you.
And on top of that, I got to watch wrestling all weekend.
You got lucky for your anniversary weekend on that, my man. Like, jeez.
Give the wife a couple drinks and let her just sit there, and she'll comment when she wants to comment. And we had a good time. So it was a great weekend, and
good.
We are moving towards we're at 18 and pushing towards 20. She made the promise on our 20th, she will take me to a resort with huts on the water. That's the goal. Somewhere with huts on the water.
The Maldives?
Maldives. There's some places off of Florida. I just want huts on the water. I don't really care where they are at. So
I feel like that's a very achievable goal. So cheers to you. Good luck on that endeavor. I hope it works out. If not, I'll build you a hut on my pool that I'll have, and then you could hang out there.
I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll bring the beer.
And it's a year-long hot tub, so like 24/7, baby. We got it. But that's personal life. We're not talking about that right now.
Pinky and hot boiling water. I'm all about it. Well, let's run down Monaco. I know you've got some stuff to say about Monaco.
Yeah.
Tell the people what's up.
I mean, number one, Monaco is the iconic as iconic as the Indy 500, as the Daytona. I mean, it's been around forever. It's been some of the best races. I mean, this is the rich kid playground, plain and simple. However, being a big sports enthusiast, Pinky, you will appreciate this, and it definitely brings some concern in how we all like to speculate on how to improve the game, how to improve the event to make it more entertaining, whatever that may be. And Caleb and I briefly talked about it. One of the big things this year that changed for Monaco was it was a mandatory 2 pit stop race. So no matter what, over the 76 laps, I believe is what it was, you have to pit twice. Some teams strategy worked, other teams not. I actually have very strong language for the Mercedes F1 team right now, and we'll get to that in a few. But the race was still boring. It was like watching a queue for the lineup to start the race. Nothing exciting, not very many overtaking, a lot of frustrating things. To be quite honest with you, the most exciting part this weekend were the qualifying races. I found the main race to be kind of empty and boring, and on my own personal side, very frustrating with my team. Lando Norris came out with the win for McLaren. McLaren's been hot all season. Was hoping Max was going to be able to stick it out there at the end and just take the penalty for not stopping in the second pit stop, but it just wasn't enough. Mercedes apparently didn't even think that they needed pit stops and didn't do any. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? Excuse my language. But that it was a very frustrating thing to see my drivers not pitting, getting stuck behind other drivers. One of them actually cut a corner to bypass the Williams or the Albon racer and received a pretty substantial fine instead of a 5-second penalty, which is the norm for that type of situation. So a lot of weird politicking in F1 this weekend. I'm glad Monaco's over. Now we'll hopefully get back to a more exciting races. But nonetheless, it's Monaco. It's cool to see all the different yachts and billionaires and trillionaires and whatever's all out there with their money flaunting it. So
it's a fashion. It's definitely a fashion show.
It very much is a big thing. And also with this week for F1, they did allow some of their racers to get a sneak preview of the F1 movie with Brad Pitt that's coming out at the end of June. Good reviews. Some were like, whatever. Captures the essence, not all of it, but nonetheless, they said it was a great cinematic experience. So I'm still looking forward to it. Overall, though, like I said, I'm glad Monaco's over. We can move on into the next race and hopefully see something more exciting.
Now that things have calmed down a little bit, I am going to make it a point. You and I will get together. We'll have some beers. We'll watch one of these F1 races early in the morning. Maybe we'll do Bloody Marys. We'll do Bloody
Marys, mimosas even. I'm all good for that. But no, I'm down to get together and do a race here. So I think there's one this weekend even. And then we have a week pause. But yeah, lots of good stuff. So looking forward to when we get to do that, Pinky, because I've definitely enjoying F1. A lot of the commentary is fantastic. You get to hear a lot of the in-race radio conversations. So I'm looking forward to getting to watch that with you.
Pretty cool. I can get behind that.
So and actually June 15th is the Canadian Grand Prix, which is at noon. So we could that's a more no June 15th not good.
June 15th is Father's Day. And I will also be heading in the afternoon to Post Malone and Jelly Roll. So,
well, that sounds like a much better deal. Well, then we'll have to figure out because the next two races after that are at 7 and 8 a.m. So we'll still be, day drinking.
I'm up at 5:45 on a Saturday and Sunday because my damn dog wakes me up. So
6:45, 7. I'm up anyway. So yeah, we'll just make it happen, Pinky. I'll just have to get up a little earlier on one of those Sundays. But either way, it'll be a good time when we get together and watch it. Hopefully by then, some other teams have some things figured out. Some late bloomers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But just recapping Monaco. The 2 pit stop requirement did not make this race more entertaining. It made it more frustrating than anything. So hopefully we have a better resolve next year. But we have to wait. So we'll see.
I mean, I know they tried. Again, the attempt is there to say, hey, there's not a lot of passing on this course. So how can we make strategy more a part of the game?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
At least they tried something. I can appreciate that.
I appreciate the attempt, and that's one of the other things. I mean, people were talking about that for the Japan Grand Prix. It's just there needs to be something more to those as of right now, these two races that I'm gathering. So hopefully we see some better improvements. I mean, the racers are definitely expressing their frustration. They're like, what if we, brought the Lego cars back and raced it this way? I mean, that's just where they're at in the mindset is there's just needs to be something that makes this race more engaging. But still a great F1 weekend. McLaren still on top. A lot of Mercedes dropped pretty significantly there in the race itself. Still holding strong for the overall race of the point season for the season, which later this week we will definitely be posting an update on the Facebook page for that. So be looking for that points update for the week. But yeah, that's the recap of F1. Nothing exciting to report, unfortunately.
Was there any Hollywood superstar or entertainer there that did look lights out? I didn't see anything on social media, but I was pretty social media dark this weekend for obvious reasons.
The only thing lights out that I really found to be somewhat entertaining, and I mean, it's Dua Lipa, and Porsche gave her own Dua Lipa Porsche, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And I mean, she's always
she's
great
gorgeous
to look at, and especially, I mean, next to her Porsche, like you just can't beat it. I'm a big Porsche guy. Having literally grown up and lived next to the factory there for a little bit, was super cool. But otherwise, as far as Hollywood superstars, anyone that's insane, I didn't really have like, oh my gosh, it's whatever. Kind of boring. The only one that is funny is a lot of my nerd pages and things, when Monaco's happening, they always throw it back to Iron Man 2 when Tony Stark put himself in the Monaco race. So once they finished watching F1 in Monaco, Iron Man 2 went on. So, I didn't do that personally. I can respect it because, again, that'd be something that I would do. However, I was watching other things this weekend, so it wasn't oh, hey, let me put this on. Actually, it's been quite a time since I've put on Iron Man 2.
That's because Iron Man 2 and 3 are straight hot garbage.
I mean, the only thing that I would really say I enjoy is Hammer Industries. I like that introduction. I really enjoyed him. I wish they did more with him as a character, especially since he is a big nemesis overall in the series. So, I mean, Sam Rockwell really did a fantastic job.
He played a fantastic douche. Amazing.
And this is actually, well, I'm going to save that for nonsense, but that'll be for some more Marvel things with him possibly coming back in a role for Hammer Industries. So we'll see where that ends up. But overall, again, Monaco wasn't overly exciting. I was more excited for the F1 premiere that the Dracers got to see and what their thoughts were than anything else. There wasn't anybody that I was like, ooh. Yeah, pretty cut dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's give the people a hockey update. It's been a few weeks since we've
I have not caught up on hockey. That's you. You gave me a good rundown earlier, so let the people know.
And well, I haven't been keeping up with hockey as much without the Avs being in it. I've caught portions of a game here and there. I will definitely watch the Stanley Cup finals.
Absolutely, that's a must.
That's just kind of a must. The hockey in the Stanley Cup finals is usually pretty damn good. No surprise, our hockey expert Cody did pick. I believe he picked the Panthers to. If it wasn't the Capitals, I think he picked the Panthers to make it to the finals. They're up 3-1 on the Hurricanes. Hurricanes have pretty much shit the bed. It's kind of what they've done.
They forgot to even show up.
They just haven't put up much of a fight. The Panthers are a good team. I don't know if they're as good this year as they were last year,
I actually do have a fun statistic on this situation. The Hurricanes have not won a conference final since the iPhone was invented.
Ooh,
That's
a long time. That's a long time.
Coming from a tech guy, that's a big deal. I mean, my Lions still haven't won a Super Bowl even before like ever. So like before the first gaming console, even like it's a struggle. But I mean, iPhone invention for hockey. I mean, kind of cool to keep up with.
Until this year, I believe the Lions, or maybe was it last year they won a playoff game? Whatever year they won a playoff game, the last time they had won a playoff game was literally like when Tecmo Bowl. That's like the last time when Tecmo Bowl came out, and they were really good in Tecmo Bowl. So the Panthers are probably, there's one more. They're up 3-1. Hurricanes really haven't put up much of a fight, so I don't think this is going 6. I think Panthers will probably close this out, and they'll be sitting maybe for a little bit, waiting for their opponent. The other series has been actually pretty damn good for the most part between the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars. The Oilers are up 2-1 in the series, and they're up 2-1 tonight in Game 4. So if they close out, they'll be up 3-1, and that's kind of the Stars have a good team. I don't know what's going on since I haven't been paying as much attention to that. I'd probably have to get Cody on to tell us, and hopefully we'll get Cody to join us here before the Stanley Cup Finals kicks off. We'll have him on the show.
I would hope to get him on before the Stanley Cup to give us a rundown, kind of give us a before sneak peek, and then at the finals we have him do the final recap.
Well, I got to use him for another show, so maybe we'll see. We'll see what we can do. See what his wife allows us to get away with.
We'll balance it out.
So that's all I've got for the Oilers and the Panthers. I just have not paid enough attention to give a big rundown, but Oilers and Panthers are on a collision course to head back to the finals, and then we'll see if we get a better Stanley Cup Finals this year. I believe if it wasn't a sweep, it was close last season. Panthers and Oilers, I believe. Solid. So moving to the NBA, and this is where Caleb is normally our top NBA guy. And then I kind of chip in. So I'll see if I can help as much as possible. Currently, we've got the Thunder beat the Timberwolves last night, 128-126, a close game, back and forth. At the end of the day, you can't turn the ball over 20-some times against the Thunder. You can't do it. You can't give up turnovers like that. You can't give up the offensive rebounds, unfortunately, that teams end up giving up to the Thunder. That gives them too many opportunities to get extra possessions, get extra points, get back to the free throw line. It's a losing endeavor if you were turning the ball over against the Thunder. They're very quick in transition. That offense can move like a machine. And at the end of the day, when they're not scoring, they just send Jalen Williams and Shea to the middle and try to get fouls. I mean, that's what they do. So I did pick the Thunder to win. No.
I picked the Thunder to win.
You did. I picked the Wolves because Caleb kind of talked me into it. I'm regretting that now.
Like I said, I follow my long taught lesson. Whoever beats my team is now the fan that I become of. So that way I hope that they show that they deserve to be there and win it all. If I go for a team and they're like, oh, hey, we got swept, I'm like, y'all suck. We should have been there and we probably would have done better. Just circumstantial. My personal philosophy. That's how I dealt with the Broncos for the last, several years. Well, it's like, all right.
That's not how I roll, Robert.
No, it's not. But you go off of numbers and stats, and that's fine. Take emotion out of it. That's cool.
I see the thought process, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's not bad.
It is a different thought process. Now, does it always work? Hell no, but it's what I go with.
I mean, that also goes with like, I know, with football, being a Broncos fan, I've had some fans who are like, oh, if the Broncos aren't in it, I want somebody in the AFC West to win. And I'm like, no,
Because
I
that
don't.
gives them better. No,
I just don't like it.
I
No,
don't like that logic.
I'm not rooting for any rival to win. So
no, thank you.
um,
I don't want the Chiefs to win. I sure as shit don't want the Raiders to win. The
I
Chargers are
just thought
figuring stuff out.
I thought the T-Wolves defense would play better. Their offense has been very inconsistent. So this should be an interesting. I mean, the next game 5, if the Thunder pull out all stops, it's in OKC as well. So if they pull out all stops, man, it's that's probably going to be a wrap. And then they'll be sitting and waiting for the winner of the Pacers-Knicks series. The series is currently 2-1. The Knicks were able to pull out a victory the other night, and they're currently down 8 points, 7 points with a minute left in the third quarter. So the game is still relatively close. That's usually when the Knicks like to try to keep it close. Pacers like to try to go on a run. We'll see what happens over this last quarter. I hope the Knicks win because I'd like to see this go to 7. I don't want to see both series be duds and then, the finals are already, ready to go. The finals don't technically start till next week. I'd like to see a game 7 in one of these series, but I don't think it's going to happen the way things have been working.
I think we're going to keep on wishing for that there, Pink.
But I am enjoying. I have watched most of these games with the Pacers and Knicks. I've gotten to catch most of them. They just they've been on the nights that I've got nothing really going on, and I have been really enjoying the Indiana Pacers, like their flow of the game. They have just played really well. They've played well on offense. I think Halliburton's kind of picked it up in the playoffs, and he's looked really great. So this has been a fun series. Most of the games have been fairly close and contested, where New York gets into it at the end, and then Indiana seems to pull it out. So we'll see what goes on. Like I said, we're almost to the fourth quarter, and Indiana's got an 8-point lead right now. So we'll see how that finishes up. And I think since last week when we talked, I'm not sure if they had announced the MVP, but maybe they did. Shea did win the MVP.
SGA. Yeah. SGA did win.
The media gave him one. They didn't want to vote for Joker, but whatever. Joker's won 5 straight, in my opinion.
I completely agree with you, and I know that was something you heavily floated your opinion on the post that Caleb made about that. And I couldn't agree more. Now, just kind of getting into the basketball game and things, I really don't have a lot to argue and stand on with that. But again, when you're putting up season great numbers from seasons when you won the MVP and no one's even touching you, just call it what it is, man. Like,
no center has averaged a triple-double for the season.
Yeah. I mean,
he did things this season that have never been done. He had one of the top 3 offensive seasons of all time, and he didn't win MVP. Something about that's just not right.
It's one of those things. Caleb talks about it all the time. I'm certainly playing into it on my own self, just seeing everything from the outside looking in. I mean, in some degree, it's a conspiracy, I personally think. I also think that they really need to have a better definition of said awards. You have the most valuable player, whatever, but that something. But in my opinion, again, no one came close to doing what Jokic did this year, ever, and probably never will. He is the MVP. And this isn't a homer talk. This isn't anything else. I mean, this is just numbers doing the talking. And if the roles were reversed and this was a Jordan LeBron type situation, there'd be no argument. Really, it just is one of these things where you see somebody changing the absolute play of the game, not just for their team, but as a whole. That there's something to be said there for that.
Absolutely.
And he's certainly not getting the respect to his name that is well deserved.
So, moving on.
Yep.
So we've got just a little bit of football to talk about, and I wanted to start out real quick with it was announced today. I'm pretty excited. It was announced today that Demaryius Thomas, RIP, my man, is getting inducted into the Broncos Ring of Fame, and it's going to be October 19th. They're playing the Giants. I was already planning to try to get tickets to that game because my buddy Mark is a big Giants fan. So I was already planning to go. And on top of that, they're also celebrating the Super Bowl 50 team as well as part of that weekend with honoring Demaryius Thomas. So all of his teammates will be in town and at the game and celebrating Demaryius Thomas. So I thought, what a great honor, what a great moment, well deserved. There was a stat I saw today. Demaryius Thomas from 2012 to 2015 averaged 100 catches, 1,400 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And there's only two other players in history that have done that, and that was Marvin Harrison and Jerry Rice. So for over a 4-year span. So that's pretty crazy that Demaryius did that. Now, again, he had Peyton Manning. Him and Peyton Manning made sweet love together on the football field. I believe Peyton Manning made Demaryius Thomas a much better football player, obviously, because he had a quarterback who knew what he wanted. He knew where he was going to be, and they made sweet love together on the field. It was amazing. When I saw our intro today, and it shows the Demaryius Thomas 80-yard touchdown in overtime against the Steelers, like that just brings, every time I see it, it brings me back to that moment. I was there with my dad. It's a great sports moment for me and my dad. We hadn't, my dad's got some issues with his ankles. It's not easy to take him to a game. That one was one that I'll remember for forever. So
Solid.
DT, my man, we miss you. Hopefully you're doing good where you're at, and good. Look forward to celebrating you and all the things you did on and off the football field. He was a really good guy off the field as well. So go Broncos, go DT.
Amen. So that being said, Pinky, this was an interesting topic that I had come across, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, being the big football guy that you are. So I'm glad that we're talking football right now. Saquon Barkley made a very presumptuous claim that they are one of the top all 5 teams ever in NFL. Now, you know this as well as I am not a historian on this. I can't comment. I can't even have an argument for this. So I would very much like to know what your thoughts are on this comment, because it is a very bold claim to make. So please give me your insight here.
All right. So let's start with the first thing I think that's always got to be discussed. And I think this is very it's very easy to do in today's, instant gratification, instant classics, instant, this is the best game ever. I think we're a prisoner of the moment, right? And I'm not sure. And maybe it's because there's so many more. It's hard. I guess it's hard to explain why there's so many people that are really prisoners of the moment, and it's always like the last thing they saw was the greatest that they've ever seen. And again, I feel like if you always go to that point, like, have you really seen that much? Have you really experienced some of the greatest sports moments in history? I feel like, since I'm a kid from 1980, I have been around a lot. I've been a sports fan for a very long time. So I have lived in a lot of those moments, and I think I am a football historian. I can pretty much go through each Super Bowl that's ever been played and tell you who won. I can't quite do what that. There's a kid that can do all the scores. I can't do that. But
That's in my realm of the world, this is not anything to put anybody down. It's what we call your TISM function. If you can remember stuff like that, that's your superpower.
my
Like mine is Star Wars and movies and crap for something that is absolutely useless, but I could again teach movies. That's your function, is you can do other sports stuff.
my wife thinks my football knowledge is literally thick. She can say
Oh,
something, and I'm
it
like, oh,
disgusts me.
I can do, like, I'm like, oh yeah, that was this and that, and she's like, how do you know that? And I'm just like, I just know it. Like, it's just like my brain can recall it, and it's there for me. I wish I could use that for better things. I'd probably make more money. But
Yes. We are in agreement there, my friend.
so yeah, maybe I need to go work for DraftKings or work for NFL Films or something. Like, I probably could put my knowledge to better use. But here I am hanging out with you guys.
Hey,
Back
and
to
we have a good
Saquon.
time, so don't let it discourage you, sir.
I do think Saquon has an argument, but I'm not high on this one. And um, there are a lot of teams that I would say have a really good argument for top 5 teams of all time. I would argue, you've got the 86 Bears, you've got or 85 Bears. I think it's 85 Bears. 85 Bears, you've got the Cowboys of the 90s, you've got the 89, 88, and 89 49ers were pretty damn amazing. You've got the 98 Broncos, who won their first 13 games. Like, they stomped. Then they stomped mostly through the playoffs. They had a kind of a hiccup against the Jets, but pretty much stomped through everybody else. You could pretty much call the Patriots in 07 going undefeated, and the only game they lost was in the Super Bowl to one of the greatest catches of all time from Eli Manning to David Tyree. You've got, I mean, there's so many of these teams that are just amazing and on different levels. You can pick any one of the Steelers teams from the 70s and make the case that they're one of the best. Some people will argue the 72 Dolphins. I don't really argue them. They, I've got my reasons, but if somebody wants to argue the Dolphins, I would take that argument. I would still take the argument of the, Tampa Bay Bucks of 02, the Ravens from 2000, Seattle Seahawks of 2013, the Broncos of 2015. I like the all-time defensive teams that just like they won on defense. So I'd have to say Saquon is wrong. He is feeling himself, and I like that, and I like the confidence. And I do think towards the end of the year, Philly put it together. They knew who they were. They ran the football. They played good defense. And that's how they would win and outlast you in football games. A lot of their games, they opened it up in the fourth quarter. It was a close game, and then they opened it up. So I would not call them one of the top 5 teams of all time.
Would you argue in top 10 then?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Because I listed off almost 10 that I would have.
Yeah, I was about to say, you gave me the 49ers, the Cowboys through the 90s. I mean, the Broncos with Elway are up there, I'm sure, if I think I heard you say.
Right. The 98 Broncos are a legit top 10 team of all time, for sure.
I mean, I know you said you could put them in there, but no one else has done this. The Dolphins with the perfect season. No one else has. So that, for my eyes, it doesn't make them number 1, but they are in the top 5 conversation.
And I'd say one of the reasons why I don't hold that down is, one, it was a 14-game season. 2, if you look at their schedule, is pretty weak. 3, they kind of outlasted their opponents. They didn't blast them. Like, they didn't dominate. Like, the Cowboys dominated, right? They weren't like the Chiefs from last year, who just barely won. They dominated. And then the Dolphins, they won the Super Bowl. It was like 19-6 or something. It was a very low scoring game, but they also played in a different era. They played in an era of more
Absolutely.
grinded out football. They had the no name defense. A good team, good team. Top 10, probably. I'd probably put the 72 Dolphins at the top 10. They wouldn't be in my top 5 though. That's for sure.
All right. All right. Good
I'm trying to
deal.
think of all of them in time. The 85 Bears are definitely there. The 85 Bears like dominated like everybody except for the Dolphins. That was the only team that they actually they lost to that season. Other than that, they put the smackdown on everybody. Um, the 89 49ers were pretty crazy, pretty good as well. I remember the 91-92 Cowboys. I mean, you could pick either one of those squads. They were nasty on offense and crazy good on defense. And I think that's, again, when you're looking at it as a whole, I think I would probably put, here's a hot take maybe, I'd put the 98 Vikings over this Eagles team.
Oh,
The 98
interesting.
Vikings were pretty damn good. They happened to lose a close game to the Falcons in the NFC Championship game. And I was so excited because I was like, Falcons, Broncos will whoop that ass. Vikings, I feel like the Broncos would have won, but it would have been a close game.
Yeah, yeah. Again, from what you've told me and things, it definitely would be a hard argument to make, right? I mean, but that's always the beauty of talking sports is the what ifs. If they had done this, if they had
Now,
done that.
I would argue Saquon has more of an argument saying he was the MVP last year than them being a top 5 team. Because I actually have Saquon Barkley was my MVP last year.
I would get behind that.
If that dude doesn't run for almost breaking the record, they don't go to the Super Bowl. Like he was
100%.
the catalyst that put them over the
He
top
was the
and made
game
them so
changer.
damn good. And I'd even have, and I think my other argument would be Derrick Henry was so damn good with the Ravens. No teams were able to just focus on Lamar. They had to defend Derrick Henry, and he still ran for 1,900 yards. That dude almost became the first guy to rush for 2,000 yards twice. That would have
That's
been
crazy.
amazing. So I'm super stoked for the season. If you didn't know, Robert, I'm ready. I just booked my plane tickets to Seattle today. I'm ready for
Nice.
our Seattle trip. I will get you the info so
Yes.
that you can book them whenever you can.
Yep.
The schedule release. Let me ask, because this was the other thing that kind of came up, and I think we'll move on. The Chiefs have 7 primetime games, and 2 of them on national holidays. Is that too much?
So, yes, it absolutely is. Number one, I mean, this is blatant beyond belief that the NFL is strictly capitalizing on the Chiefs squad. So with Travis, with Patrick, I mean, with their media marketing right now, they have to be on TV, or in the NFL's mind, no one's gonna watch. But that's strictly not the case. And the other thing that comes with this is all the primetime releases and announcements and whatnot that really upset me is again, the Cowboys are not a primetime team right now. So if we're gonna give anybody slots, please, for the love of God, make it somebody else. No
I
one
think they got.
cares.
I think they got 6.
I think they have the second most in the schedule than any other team. Not to mention, I mean, you have, I mean, there's only one that I've seen, but he's a pretty big household name right now, and that's Joe Burrow calling out the NFL on their crap, not giving them any home primetime games, international, whatever. I mean, there are other teams right now that are doing far better that deserve that primetime spot. The
So-
Chiefs, I would say, take 2 away, maybe. They definitely don't need 2 holiday games because for people like you and me in our region, I mean, we have a good friend of ours that now we have to figure out, because that's one of the big things we get together on, are the Chiefs games. And if it's a big holiday, well, now that throws the wrench into everybody's freaking thing. And again, the Chiefs are the New England Patriots on steroids. And it is disgusting. I can't tell you enough. I want the Chiefs to fail simply for that fact. Like, I could care less. I love what the fact that you were doing. I love that, okay, yeah, you're great. You've turned your team around, all of this stuff. But, dude, you are basically saying, hey, guess what, NFL fans? Open wide and let me shove it in. It's disgusting. I don't appreciate it. There are other teams out there that deserve to be seen.
Are you saying that you hate watch the Chiefs, Robert?
I think you're muted.
What?
I lost audio.
I hear me
I
just
don't have
fine.
your audio.
What?
I don't hear you at all.
Yo. What's going on, man?
But anyway, so while Pinky's figuring out technical difficulties, I mean that's just it. I mean, the Bills could get more primetime spots. The Bengals certainly could get it.
Testing.
Lot of different things. So for the schedules, I'm not a big fan. I definitely think that the NFL is shooting themselves in the foot here, with all of this. Now, what that means as far as schedule strength and whatnot, that's more of a Pinky question that steps outside of my realm. But to have 7 primetime games and 2 holidays, one, I mean, that does that do to their families as one whole, and secondly, nobody really cares to watch the Chiefs. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, if you're a big fan, you're a homer, sure, that makes sense.
I'm back. It's got to be on you, man. Everything shows I'm good.
You're all set, my man. All my audio's coming through normally.
I can hear you just fine.
Nothing's
My mic's
changed.
on.
You were there and then you weren't. Well, now you're muted. You need to take yourself off mute.
Yo.
Yeah, I don't got you at all.
What's going on? How about now, Robert? It's reading me loud and clear.
It's not on my end.
According to all my
Nothing's
settings,
changed.
everything says it's
Nothing's
good.
been different. My audio's still pulling through.
I don't know how to test it now. Well, technical difficulties ruining the show. Amazing.
It's all you, buddy.
I'm
not getting any audio feed. I'm checking all the mic settings. Nothing's coming through.
all my settings say they're good, man. I guess roll without me. And we're back. All right. So, back to what you said, Robert.
Yeah, so again, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of watching one team. I mean, to break it, let me break it down this way. There's 18 weeks, right, in an NFL season. 7 of those weeks, we're just getting Chiefs prime time. I mean, again, I could care less. And it's how I felt about the Patriots. I mean, yeah, they're a great team. They're winning. They're solid. But guess what? There are other teams people care to watch. And the NFL needs to understand that you're not going to just create all these bandwagon Chiefs fans, because guess what? You're going to have the same exact thing happen when Brady retired.
So I get it. I don't like it as well.
I mean,
I do.
I understand it. It's just
I remember a couple years ago there was like a limit to how many primetime games a team could have, and I think it was like 5. That seems like the right amount. I think there's so much good young talent in the league that it'd be nice to showcase more of that talent than just Mahomes. And again, Mahomes is awesome. He's great. The Chiefs have been amazing. They've been on a crazy good run. I get it. But at the end of the day, we've watched them so much, we're kind of done. We've seen
watched
enough.
them so much. We saw them fail at the Super Bowl. Watch them fail. I mean, in my personal perspective, they forgot to even show up to that game.
Well, they were outmatched in that game. They faced a team that was a bad matchup for how Kansas City was constructed.
Team.
Well,
that's not a dominant performance.
Only if you talk to Caleb are they a dominating team. So they do know how to win, except for that game. But they played a bad opponent for them. Like occasionally you play an opponent that is literally really, really good at the things that you're really, really bad at, or that you have to hide your deficiencies. Eagles took advantage of that. And that's what happened a couple years ago when the Chiefs played the Bucks in the Super Bowl. Same thing.
Let me break this down for you here to, again, just further my point from earlier. So the Chiefs have 7. Any idea who's got number 2?
I think you said Cowboys.
They have 6. I could watch 6 turd games and I'll happily put on a Cleveland Browns game. Happily. No offense, Junior. I love you, buddy. But I will happily put on a Browns game than watch a freaking Dallas Cowboys game. They're not fun to watch. Actually, let me take that back. They're fun to watch because they sucked so bad. It's like, what are they going to suck at this week? Because every week it's been different. It hasn't been a consistent issue. It's like, oh, hey, let's work on this. Oh, we suck again. Again, it's the classic Waterboy line. Oh, we suck again. It's the same exact thing.
Well,
the Cowboys are not America's team anymore. They're not.
They have been good against, in the past, they have been good against division opponents or bad teams. And they would put an ass whooping on those teams. And then when they played good teams, they would lose. That's been kind of their MO the last couple seasons. So they're not awful. But again, they're not the funnest team to watch. I would absolutely agree with that. I've watched a lot of Cowboys games. They're not. We can ask Blea. He knows. They're not. They're not fun to watch for him either. Poor Cowboys fans. So, but America, it's a fact. America tunes in, and mostly, I think they tune in to watch them fail. They hate watching, just like with the Chiefs.
Sure. But this is what really upsets me is when you start looking at this primetime slot a lot more. There are 8 teams. 8 teams that are getting 5 primetime games. 8. Of which Commanders are one of them, and they are hot to trot. Good. They should absolutely, I feel, be a step up above the Cowboys. I mean, they were one of the teams to watch last year. And I know you could argue that all day. But they were one of the teams to watch and will be a team to watch this year. The Lions are another. While they haven't always been great in prime time, they are showing their worth and have been doing so the last 3 seasons. The Ravens have 4 primetime games.
That's a little low. I think they should have 5 for sure.
The Falcons have 5. The reigning Super Bowl champs have 5.
I'm going to say the Broncos technically have 5. I know they only have 4 according to that. I think the London game, because it's the only game on, it is early, so it's maybe not prime time, but it's the only game on at its time slot.
And I would
kind of call that a prime time game.
Yeah. But again, you've got a lot of these other teams that are showing strength, showing that they are a team to watch. So of those 8 teams that have 5 primetime games, the Chiefs could lose one and the Cowboys could lose all 4 of them and maybe have 2. Because there are enough teams out there that are proving that they are better and deserve to be in a better spot than what the Cowboys will be.
I mean, the Cowboys are the Lakers of the NFL, man. I mean, that's just what it is. Even when the Lakers are bad, they put them on TV. It's just what they do. I couldn't
agree with you more, Pinky. So amen to that, because that is a great comparison, and I love that comparison. And at the end of the day, this is what bothers me, and that's, again, one of the biggest things that's been talked about in basketball too. The Lakers aren't winning all that much. I mean, yeah, with Luka Doncic coming over, they're getting a lot more ratings and shit, sure. But they haven't really done much in these last 3-4 seasons. And this is coming from a person that doesn't even watch the sport. I'm not completely stupid, but again, if I'm trying to watch a game and getting into a sport, I want to see people competing. Not, oh, this is America's. That's so 1990s, 2000s logical thinking. Get out of here with that. There's so much other talent to be seen right now. It's stupid. It really is. Because you're not going to tell me that come the actual season, which we all know in theory, Shedeur Sanders might have that starting slot at the Browns. While they're not prime time, you best believe people are going to be trying to watch that game.
Absolutely. People are going to watch that game.
Plural. Games. In theory. People are going to watch that. And you know what? People are going to say, oh, I wish I watched the Cowboys game. Yeah, no one's going to say that. There's so much talent coming through the NFL right now. It is stupid to give slots.
I am digging this Chiefs and Cowboys hate. I'm digging it.
Again,
let the hate flow through you, my friend.
I hate seeing one person, one team get all of this admiration for, again, last year, guess what? The Chiefs, again, in my opinion, didn't show up to the Super Bowl, flopped. While they have been winning, they haven't been winning by much. They haven't been blowouts like the Lions had been last year. I mean, absolutely trucking teams. The Broncos should have won that Chiefs game. Through and through. Now, they screwed up on the end play, and that's on them, and that's fine. But again, they weren't exciting games to really watch. At all. And again, if the Cowboys are on, I'm ripping them to pieces, because I could care less.
Don't worry, their fans are too. Don't worry.
Good. Fantastic. And I hope they continue to do so, and that eventually, one of these days, the NFL decides to realize, oh, hey, there are other teams we could be watching and getting more viewership from. And I'll even go off on this tangent to further this point, is talking about impact to a game and a sport. Caitlin Clark's out for 2 weeks with a I believe it was a hamstring injury or something like that. Their ticket sales dropped, I think what I just read was 75% to sell these tickets. No one is paying through the nose to watch a Cowboys game. They're just not. People are paying to see a Saquon Barkley. You know what? People are going to pay to see Shedeur Sanders play. And the Browns suck, but they want to see him play. They want to see talent. They want to see the next big thing. And unfortunately, with how monetized the NFL has become on all of their god-awful number of streaming platforms to even get a game, what are you doing yourself? Any favors? Absolutely not. you're losing out on viewership and participation for any other fan or to be fans to enjoy the game. Because no one finds enjoyment in watching a turd football game. They just don't. Again, it's like, oh, hey, let me just take a nap. Oh, hey, great. The Cowboys lost again. Let me just move on to the next game. They just got trucked. Like, great. I missed all of the non-exciting parts. Cool. There's so much better sports to watch. And they are being played and not being shown. Plain and simple. That's my rant for the evening. That's my hot take.
I'm digging it, buddy. I'm digging it. I need more of this heat during the NFL season this next year.
It's coming, baby.
That's what I need.
It's coming. It's happening. Because I'm now that I'm getting into this again and I'm actually like, okay, this is what's happening. This is where we're going. And these are all the other things. It's making me excited for this season to be able to talk about because it's already something that's like, this is bullshit. And this is why. And these are the things that should be better. We talked about it with the tush push since it has luckily been saved for another season. Guess what? If you can't do it, get good. Figure it out. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean that the other team should be penalized.
Right.
Figure it out. Get good. Bring
do
in
better,
a rugby team.
Suck less.
Thank you. Amen. Because not my fault you can't do it, and it's not my fault you suck at it. Get better.
You heard it here first. Get better. All right. Before we move over to nonsense, this is kind of nonsense anyways. Wait. Oh,
I got one last topic. I don't get to talk about this much. You're okay. This is one of my big passions because I actually get to celebrate one of my teams for actually being good for the first time. So, the German Bundesliga, they have a German National Cup. So they're on top of the regular season. There are other tournaments that are played. This one is called the DFB Pokal. So this is throughout multiple games. This was them getting through quarterfinals, semifinals, etc., just beating out other teams. VfB Stuttgart went and played in their first DFB Pokal and won it for the first time in 28 years. Now, Pinky, I'm sorry I'm going to make you feel a little old. I will be 29 in July. So they haven't won this pretty much since I could walk. This is their first major trophy since they won the Bundesliga in 2007. So for me, this was a dream to see happen. Because not only when this game started, it was high tension, a lot of great chances from I believe it was Betterfield was the team. I'm sorry, it was Arminia who they played. And they were up 3-0 at the half. I mean, Arminia couldn't figure out where their head was from their feet. And Stuttgart made them pay for it. And then to come back after the half, score a fourth goal, maintain that lead while you let 2 goals go by. The final was 4-2, and it was a fairy tale game. It was top to bottom, exciting. Really gets me jazzed and pumped for the World Cup next year, baby. Yeah. So I'm excited for all of this. We're getting into a pause break with a lot of the soccer things, which actually, real quick shout out to the people of Liverpool and their parade yesterday. Such a tragedy. Hope everybody's doing well and recovering well. Nobody should be have to ever go through that. And actually to the point where Paddy the Baddy was there and had to deal with some of that. So I don't know if you had heard, Pinky, but somebody drove their car through the Liverpool parade. A lot of people injured.
Oh, man.
Not a great thing. So being a big sports guy, having been to parades and things like that, celebrating something that monumental for your team should never be paired with a tragedy like that.
So, nothing of violence like that. That's just that's
to the
awful.
Liverpool fans. I hope you all are doing well. recovering well. Thoughts and prayers to you guys. But that's all I got. Is, my boys, Falif Bay, 28 years, finally lifting a trophy for the DFB Pokal. And again, it's been since 2007 since you actually launched or lifted a trophy. So 18 years. Again, pretty big deal. I mean, if they're old enough to drink now in Germany, that's the drinking age. So
Right.
if it takes you that long, that's something to celebrate. And a lot of my friends from there, it was just a nonstop party. So it's great to see all those pictures and get to celebrate that with them here. Great thing. So, well, I had to get that out there because that's not something I get to talk about much, but
No, that's
it's
that's
exciting.
always fun. And yes, we got to lead up to the World Cup next year.
Yep. So starting to make some big heavyweights, and moving those things around to where Germany's building their national team. Things are getting set. A lot of qualifiers are happening. So be ready for a lot of World Cup talk coming in the next several weeks and months because it'll be here before you know it.
I love it. All right. I'm just going to plug our other show on our growing network, Smack Talk and Raw. Me and Ron Stradamus, will be talking Thursday. We've got a couple great topics to chat about. Again, are there too many PLEs on the WWE calendar? Roxanne Perez is joining the Judgment Day. Evolution is a premium live event of all female wrestlers that was announced this last weekend. I'm super stoked for this because I think the women's division is hot.
They're killing it right now. The women's wrestling is definitely giving me something. It's more exciting to watch right now. I feel like the men's wrestling is kind of bland.
Well, I've got some more things I want to talk about with women and the storylines because right now there's not really any storylines going on with the women's division at the moment. So it's something Ron and I will definitely discuss. And then breaking news right now, Stephanie Vakir lost her NXT championship tonight. I'm so excited about this because that means most likely she's coming to the main roster because there's nothing else for her to do in NXT. If she doesn't have the belt on her down there in NXT, there's no reason to have her there. So let's go, baby. Let's bring her over. La Primera. Let's bring her up to the big leagues. She's ready. She is a main event superstar. Everything about this woman is pure gold. I'm super excited for this.
I mean, I know you're not a big into this, but AEW is going to be here next week.
I saw that. I got tempted. I did get tempted.
I've also been tempted by a not mutual friend, but a wrestling friend that I hang out with at Chiba Hut, and he's like, "Hey, Robert, what are you doing?" I'm like,
if somebody wants to drive, I would probably be down. I'm just not a great driver. I'm a good driver, but when I'm tired because I'm up early and I'm up,
I get you.
You know, I'm not the best when I'm tired. So
yeah, so that it has been thrown across the room. I will get back to you on this once I have a more developed conversation with this gentleman, but you two would hit it off pretty good. But yeah, so my next wrestling goal is to watch an AEW match and start understanding some of these other people, and also enjoying WWE because I have been thoroughly enjoying it.
And Ron and I will be talking about, is NXT, the developmental league of WWE, better at this moment than the actual main event, the main roster?
So actually, this is one of the things I've debated with my buddy here, and that's one of his big commentary points is that AEW is by far more entertaining right now than WWE. It's the way he described it to me is the same way I'll describe it to you. Is it's not so flashy, it's more brutal, it's more wrestling. It's more of seeing the wrestlers showcase not only just their moves, but the agility and athleticism they each possess to be able to then go on to WWE. And I know Penta came from AEW, if I'm not mistaken.
He yes. Yes.
Okay.
Him and Ray Phoenix, yeah.
And so I actually a few weeks ago went back and watched some older Penta matches, and I see a lot more wrestling in that versus him now in the WWE. I see him more branding Penta and doing the all the time and doing his walk and stuff like that, and then you get 20 minutes of wrestling. Where AEW seem to have more wrestling and less showboating is what I guess I'll call it. And I just enjoy the intensity a lot more.
I see tickets for about $80, so we could probably make that happen.
Okay.
Talk to your buddy. Let's.
To be discussed off air, but we'll come back to this.
All right. Thank you for letting me plug the show. Smack Talking Raw. It's a good time.
It's been great. I've been loving catching up and learning. It's been growing my wrestling knowledge since I've got too many questions. I don't even know where to start or what to even ask. So it's been
Ron is an amazing partner, and he knows his stuff.
So eventually I will make my first appearance on Smack Talking Raw, but I feel like I need to be more educated first. So to come in on a later date. But yes, check out the show, guys. Pinky and Ron are killing it. Ron's a great guy, great personality. You'll love the show. If you don't love wrestling, you'll love it by the end of it. Plain and simple. All right. Now for what everybody's been waiting for. Just kidding. The nonsense of the evening. Well, Pinky, you and I both, now I've seen it twice already because that's just who I am. I'm a freak of nature. Mission Impossible. We'll start with your rating 1 to 10, your quick recap, and then I'll deep dive into my obsession.
Man, I don't know if I can give any movie a 10, but if it's not like 9.5, like it's just fantastic from beginning to end. They did a great, again, coming from Dead Reckoning to Final Reckoning. It was they were able to pick up right where they left off, really well. The story doesn't miss a beat. You're still right there with it. You're still. I love the whole entity, especially today with AI, all those things. Like to have this story at this point in time in the world really hit for me. And so it made me think about all different things that you should not go down the rabbit hole in. I like being someone who's just, I am dumb and I am just focused on a couple things and that's it. I like it that way. It keeps it simple. When you go down the rabbit hole of thinking about the world and AI and what this could mean and nuclear holocaust for the world, all that, like there's all of that in this movie. It's done so well. The acting's great. I love all the characters. Is it a 10? If it's not a 10, it's damn close. I don't like. I'd have to look and see like what movies would I really give a 10. This one, I mean, if you like Mission Impossible, you cannot walk out of this movie not.
If you love movies, you can't not walk out of this super excited.
So I feel like the one thing that this movie has, there's so many Mission Impossibles that I feel like for those out there that have not seen any of them, they're not going at the moment because they haven't seen any of the old ones. They didn't see Dead Reckoning. And that's such a shame because Dead Reckoning was amazing as well.
That was a solid movie.
And this one just took it up a notch. So like they're missing out, but I feel like that's what's been holding some people back because they're not like, I didn't see the other ones. I don't think you have to. I mean, it helps if you saw Dead Reckoning.
Yes, I will say Dead Reckoning is almost a must, but I personally feel they did a great job of not necessarily making them a requirement to watch. They did enough go back, let's touch on this in the movie that it wasn't a need. Now, of course, it helps. It helps you appreciate some of the other things that happen. My favorite part of the whole movie actually is a callback to the original. I'm not going to expand on it. I want other people to be surprised, but that by far, my jaw hit the floor when that happened. Number one, when they get to that scene and that person is revealed, I'm just
Amazing.
and then to actually make him a central character in this film, chef's kiss. I mean, just that's how you do it. That is how you honor Easter eggs, movies, and whatnot. It's not just the nuances. That is one of the best callbacks to a movie that I can possibly think of. Now, I'm sure there are others, and I'll need time to digest that, but that one is going to stick out for me.
I mean, the only one
for
that
a
sticks
while.
out to me that I can really recall at the moment is Endgame, where again they're going back in time and you kind of catch those moments of the
Yes.
previous movies, and that's like a callback to the movies from a decade ago.
Sure.
That was similar to me. So when you see
Yeah.
this one, if you're a fan of them and you've seen all the movies, there's a multiple callbacks that just make you go, "Damn, that is good storytelling."
Yeah.
That is it's amazing, amazing.
And
So
in movies and props and things like that, they call them a MacGuffin. So to one make the knife from Mission Impossible one a very big staple in this story for a very brief moment is tremendous. Calling back to Mission Impossible 3 with the rabbit's foot, also amazing, because that was, again, not anything the audience actually got to understand what it was. And then to now bring it back for this was, I think, a very tasteful way without having to push a new agenda. It very seamlessly tied into the movie itself. Now my rating on the show itself is I mean, I'm with Pinky. It's not a full 10. I do want it to be a 10, but my movie critic inside of me, there are a few things that I had problems with. I wish there was a little bit more that they had done with Gabriel and that backstory, just a bit. And I personally think that the second act of the movie was about 10 to 15 minutes too long. I really feel like they could have done something else there to not have that such of an extended sequence, because once you hit Act 3, the movie takes off. I mean, you're just on a roller coaster. And for all of the segments, the action sequences, and the stunts, I mean, and Pinky, you right in the middle of the movie when he is on the mission, I forgot to breathe a few times. I mean, there was no dialogue. I don't know if you noticed that.
right, no, you notice it.
No
That's how
dialogue.
No sound in certain spots. Like that's how you get that feeling of tension and anxiety.
I mean, you know, where like at some point he's getting on a plane and he's hanging from it. You know this, but you're sitting here halfway through the movie and you're like, holy crap, is he gonna make it? Is this what's happening here? Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Probably, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful sequences that's been shot in a movie recently. I mean, to contrast it, I mean, I really take that scene and I put it with the opening scene of Dune Part 2, where that is just cinema at its finest. When you have the soldiers in Dune Part 2 and they just start ascending the mountain with zero gravity, and then you see Tom Cruise doing his dive in this movie, it's just those, this is a movie. This is why I go watch movies. Because that for me lives rent free in my head.
And I went with Aaron Blea, our great producer, and
shout out Aaron.
I want to say he thinks he vaguely saw Dead Reckoning, but he wasn't quite sure. Okay. And he was still like, "This is a pretty good movie." Like he enjoyed it. even though he wasn't quite sure if he had seen the last one. So,
And that's, I mean, as a movie watcher, we know it's part 2, but that's the beauty of this movie.
I'm excited to sit down and watch them both together.
Oh, yes.
Like,
I already have my 4K copy pre-ordered, so it's coming. So as soon as it happens, I'm like, cool, 5 hours is gone.
there's
5
just
hours of my life right here.
Kill Bill 2 together, Infinity
Dune Part
War,
1, Dune Part
Endgame.
2, Dune 1, Dune 2.
You watch them together, and it just amplifies the effect.
Yeah, completely.
So
It tells I don't want to say a full story because each movie tells a full story, but it is complete.
right.
It is, again, a great movie experience to now not have 2 parts of each side, but then to actually put them together and say this is the story. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Go spend your hard-earned money. Go watch
Yeah.
Mission Impossible. You will not be disappointed. If you are disappointed, I can't help you.
Right.
I really can't.
Don't be like me, because I've got all 4 popcorn buckets from each movie theater chain. And the best one, which I showed last week, like, just doesn't get any better. I got exclusive movie posters even that I'm gonna get framed and hung up. I mean, this is, for me, it's not the movie of the summer. It still very well could be. There's a few others that are gonna give it a run for its money. But I mean, this is, no one makes movies and will ever make movies like Tom Cruise again. Period.
We'll see, man. That was really good. It was really good. God, I'm hoping they find a way to make another one.
No,
I know
it needs to stop. This is good. I'm
Well,
happy with this. It needs to be done.
I told we could change it up a little bit. We bring in a new Ethan Hunt. Tom Cruise is now the head guy. There's ways we could do it and make it something new. But if they do not, this is a great send off for the series. I do think they're going to do more Mission Impossibles. I just don't think they'll do it with the same cast.
Now, part of this is allegedly, Tom Cruise has floated the idea of having Glenn Powell take his place. He and Glenn have really developed a good relationship, and that's one of the few things that have been talked about. And it's not even out yet, and we talked about it last week, but Tom Cruise is already plugging his movie, The Running Man remake, which I'm personally looking forward to. I love the Schwarzenegger movie.
As a kid from the 80s, bro, Running Man was my movie.
It's a great book. Again, from one of my favorite authors of all time, Stephen King. And they could make Stephen King movies coming out.
An updated version. They could take the gore factor up to 10. I'm confident they could. And
I really hope that they do The Running Man well.
So we'll see. That is exciting. I am optimistic about that for sure.
So what I will say to you, my friend, is that is coming this year, November 7th. So that'll be a sequence where we watch the original and then go watch the remake and then we talk about it. So that will be discussed.
We'll do that when we get back from Seattle.
And to help with this, Edgar Wright, so he did Shaun of the Dead, Scott Pilgrim,
Ant-Man.
Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, Ant-Man. He knows how to make a solid movie.
He does.
So I'm excited for Edgar Wright's film. I'm looking forward to The Running Man with Glenn Powell, and Tom Cruise is already plugging it, so I'm excited. But if this were to ever happen and Glenn Powell does take over the franchise for Mission Impossible, yes, I will go see it. Yes, I will give it its chance. But all in all, though, I am happy with how this ended, and they need to keep it that way.
Cheers to Tom Cruise.
Amen to that. now to the big topics of the evening for the up and coming and for our viewers to debate and discuss. Number one, the 3 have been announced for Harry Potter's new series on Max. Young kids, kind of no names. Interesting casting. Looking forward to it. And with them doing a book a season, I really hope that they are able to capture the essence of Harry Potter. HBO doesn't make bad series by any means, but they do have questionable ones. Which is going to lead me to this next topic is The Last of Us season 2 has wrapped. Now I know, Pinky, you did enjoy season 1.
I did.
Season 2 is now fully out. You've got 7 hours of TV to get through. And I have no issue saying this, and this is not a spoiler by any means. You're going to be heavily disappointed. I'm disappointed. And goes back to our conversations from several weeks ago, is if you're going to do a story, do the story. Don't drip feed it to me in a 6-episode season like, oh, hey, part 2's coming out. Tell me the story. They finish this finale. You are left with nothing but questions. Almost, and I don't know, Pinky, did you watch The Sopranos, right?
I did.
So the series finale, cut to black. Yeah, guess what? That's how this season ends. No resolve, nothing happens. It's just, what the hell? Why did I just waste 7 hours of my life? I'm not a fan. They've changed a lot of the core characters. The fundamental of the story has been completely changed. I'm actually not enjoying season 2. And season 3 is going to be centric on one character who you got 0 time with this season. So you're like, why should I even care? And then supposedly there's a season 4. So we've got another 8 years before this even gets done. And I you laugh, but I mean that in all seriousness.
I know that's where we're at. That's my issue with a lot of these series these days. Is it takes so long for the next season to come out that I have to literally go back. I have to spend time going back to the original season and rewatching it so I know and have a good understanding of what's happening. So then when I binge watch the new season, it's that much easier.
These stories have been told in completion. If you really want to know a good story, just watch this. The cinematics. You don't even need to play the game.
It's just like The Witcher, man. Like they completely went off script on that and ruined that.
Completely.
So
it virtually made the series next to unwatchable because you're like, I have no investment anymore. You've taken it away.
Right. I watched season 2 and 3. When I got done, I was like, I don't really know what the hell I just watched.
Yeah.
Of The Witcher.
And that's where, again, having played the games, understanding the games, and know where we're headed, I'm sitting here going, why did we even do this? You've told this much, have given me 0 reason to care about anything that's happening. Why should I get in line for watching season 3?
So, and again, the 2 video game shows that I really enjoyed that I've still got a lot of hope for is, again, Fallout I thought was amazing.
Season 2 coming out soon.
Season 2 is coming out soon, and they're already working on season 3.
Yep.
And then the other one, season 2 should be coming out soon, Twisted Metal. I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
I hate saying this. No, I have not watched it. It is on my list. And yes, season 2 is coming out, I believe, this year, if not in a few weeks.
Anybody who's not seen Twisted Metal, that is a really fun show. I remember the video games. I didn't quite play the games. But I do remember them out, and my buddy played it quite a bit. Anthony Mackie did a great job in that show.
July 31st, season 2.
There we go. My wife doesn't like a lot of gore. She's just not a fan of it. She actually enjoyed the show. Like we watched it together, and she enjoyed it. So it had Hannah's stamp of approval as well. So check out Twisted Metal if you have not already. It is a fun watch. I mean, I'll be honest, I enjoyed that more than, Rings of Power. There's a bunch of shows I'm like, I watched them and I was like, kind of let down. Twisted Metal actually lived up. It was good.
Yeah, and that, frankly, right now is the battle I find myself having more often than not. And that's what makes some of the series that I've been getting into all that more entertaining. Again, with Andor, you have substance, you know something, but you don't actually need to have seen any other Star Wars to get it. It's just a very well written series. And from what I've gathered on Twisted Metal, it's the same thing. It's very well written. It captures a lot of the game. It's funny. It's gory. It's got its moments. I'm looking forward to getting to it. Obviously,
Will Arnett
exactly.
makes me laugh my ass off because his character's just a big, gigantic clown.
Yeah.
And it's the voice of Will Arnett, but it's this guy Samoa Joe, who's actually a wrestler in AEW, I believe, is playing that guy. It's hilarious. Like, I couldn't stop laughing, and I don't even like clowns. I mean, I like insane clowns. I guess that's true. I do like insane clowns, but ICP, let's go. Yeah, watch Twisted Metal. Watch Andor. Gosh, what else we got, Robert? What else we got? Let's finish it up.
So the last thing that I will say, and this is where we're gonna end this note, and this will be throwing some good Marvel at you here, Pinky. Number one, the Thunderbolts is wrapping up its box office right now, which, believe it or not, is the second worst performing box office Marvel movie of all time.
That's just ridiculous.
Next to the Marvels. That's where it ended its run. Is the second worst performing movie. Which Pinky and I talked about it when it came out a few weeks ago. Go see this movie. It is actually phenomenal, and it's a return to form for Marvel. Now, with the return to form to Marvel, unfortunately, there must always be something that takes that away. While I'm hoping that doesn't happen, the next Marvel entity we get for the next year is Ironheart. That will be releasing on Disney Plus here.
Fantastic Four.
Well, yeah, that'll be, so that's at the end of July, which I'm getting to because there are some things with that I'm very nervous about. Ironheart is coming here in June, and then we have Fantastic Four at the end of July, and no Marvel until Avengers. Currently, Fantastic Four is going through extensive reshoots. So, not sure what's happening with that, but this also, and I have not brought this up to Caleb, and I need to, now that he's seen it, so this will be a next week conversation. That ending credit scene with the Thunderbolts at the end with the ship that comes through, that was filmed 4.5 weeks ago.
Right. I think I can do a decent job of explaining this one, Robert.
I mean, I get I know what you're going to say, but for a lot of these things, I mean, these weren't any major concerns with a lot of the other Marvel entities. So there were a lot of reshoots, but however, for a movie they're making a flagship, this is like a make it or break situation, because without it, if Fantastic Four fails, Doomsday is going to be left to question. Period.
So here's what my theory is, Robert. So as they started production and filming of Fantastic Four, Kang the Conqueror and that whole thing was going to be the prevalent bad guy. And that's where everything was. They shifted course, came in with Doomsday, casted Robert Downey Jr. You can bring the Russo brothers back. The Russo brothers are changing things on the fly, which in order to make Fantastic Four fit in to the Doomsday and where that's going, they have to do some of these reshoots to make these things all fit in with what the Russo brothers are now putting together. That's my assumption. Could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. It happens. But that's what I think is going on there. And I mean, obviously, if you saw the end of Thunderbolts, you kind of know how Fantastic Four is going to go. If you already know who Galactus is and what he does, you kind of already know what's going to happen.
So your theory is kind of plausible. However, the timeline does not work in your favor because Fantastic Four itself did not start shooting until last July to November. So 24. Jonathan Majors got his assault case and everything. Verdict sealed, signed, delivered in December of 23. So there were
But they didn't fire him right away.
They removed. No, as soon as the guilty verdict came out, he was out. That was it. There was no question about it. As soon as that came through, he was out. Marvel dropped him on December 18th, 2023.
Yeah, but the Fantastic Four itself had already been in major pre-production before that.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was.
The pre-production.
These movies are in pre-production for years before they even start filming, man.
Not this one.
It was.
Fantastic Four was not. And they started all the principal photography at the end of July. So in that time, we're talking essentially 2 years now that have gone by. And again, that as soon as Kang was out, they scrapped everything. I mean, that changed the Avengers re-releases. That changed a lot of their TV releases and the movies that were coming because Marvel and Kevin Feige were like, we got to pull the plug and restructure. They canceled so many projects.
I wish they would have canceled Ironheart because I'm not really interested in that at all.
I'm not either. I personally did not. Her character as the catalyst in Wakanda Forever was actually invigorating. I did not enjoy that. Take her out of that movie, it's still a solid movie. Personally. I just don't enjoy Ironheart. I don't get her character. I don't enjoy her character marketing her as the next Iron Man. You cannot be the next Iron Man. There is no other Iron Man.
So, I mean, Ironheart is from the comics. It's a storyline.
Yeah.
It's just not one. And again, I think this is what Marvel has struggled with over the last 5-6 years. Is they're trying to make a lot of different canon from all of the side characters from the Marvel universe, which are also characters most people don't really care about or have any investment in. We didn't really care about Echo. We didn't care. We don't care about Ironheart.
I haven't even watched Agatha, which introduced death.
I actually thought Agatha was entertaining, but it's not to me, it's not a Marvel movie. Because Agatha.
I mean, it's a series. It's a series. It's not.
Well, it's not. To me, it was more about just witches than it was about anything Marvel related. I enjoyed the actress that played her. I enjoyed Aubrey Plaza was in it. I actually thought the show itself is actually enjoyable, but it doesn't really tie into Marvel at all, really. Besides kind of tying into the Scarlet Witch and all that, but it's like its own side thing. Which again, if you watch it just as on the side, you're like, okay, this is fine. If you're wanting it to really play a major part, which we've gotten used to, everything played a major part in the Marvel universe, then you would be pretty highly disappointed. To me, it's like watching Moon Knight. As a show, Moon Knight is actually really enjoyable until you're like, wait, I love Moon Knight, and we get 8 minutes of Moon Knight in the actual show. But if you look at it as a mental health breakdown of a character is pretty damn good if you look at it through that lens. So again, they keep creating shows and they keep doing a lot of different things that just make you go, none of these really work or connect or make me care. That's the problem. Nobody cared about the Thunderbolts for obvious reasons. They've all characters from different shows put together. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. The chemistry that they all had and the way that they fit together is perfect. But they're all lower tier characters in the overall universe that, doesn't hold weight. You put Iron Man, you put Hulk, you put Captain America, you put Thor. Now people will come running. Spider-Man, people will come running. All the side characters, that's one of the issues Marvel has, is they haven't been able to correctly market and brand these smaller characters.
And that's and I will say this will be my final thought, is one of the most disappointing things about the Thunderbolts is it'll, in my opinion, will go down as the most underrated Marvel movie of the last couple of years. It is far better than what people are giving it credit for. It should have made a lot more money at the box office. And this also just goes to show that Marvel itself does not have a grasp on their storytelling. For the fact that when you bring me the Thunderbolts and then you end now, and again, Caleb, you've finally seen it, so I have no problem talking about this. They are the new Avengers.
Right.
You market that, and that is your marketing ploy as soon as the movie is out. New Avengers. Everything. Everything. Especially after having just gotten Captain America not 3 months ago, getting Sam Wilson to build the new Avengers team. So now you've got two conflicting points, which they did talk about in the credit scene very briefly. But again, now you have a war of stories, which hopefully, is culminating to Doomsday, and I get that. But Marvel right now has not built enough ammunition to make that reveal impactful.
Right. And
because the Avengers wasn't the Avengers at the start of the movie. They became the Avengers at the end of the film.
Right, because they brought the team together. Thunderbolts is amazing. If you can't enjoy that story, I really can't help you. Like, it's just fun. It's entertaining. The characters play off each other very well. I do think I actually enjoyed the mental health aspect of the movie. Right. I thought that was a great way to bring that about. It's a focal point, but it's not everything. I felt like this was it's just like Guardians. Bunch of characters you don't really know much about. They tell you a good story. The music's great. The action's fun. It's just a fun movie. And the fact that people didn't go out to see it is shame, because it is a really good movie. So I do think it will find a larger audience once it hits Disney Plus. Yeah.
And that's part of, again, the issue that Marvel's created for themselves. And I hate saying that, but that is the problem they've created.
Like Lilo and Stitch beat out Mission Impossible this weekend. I didn't see that coming.
I saw it coming for the simple fact that when you look at the ticket sales and things like that, you're buying tickets for families. So immediately that's already going to have it.
And even Mission Impossible had its biggest weekend of any of its movies.
Yeah.
So it still did really well.
And the thing that I've had a few people tell me this, I will make my way to see it. However, when you change the main antagonist of the entire film to somebody that you actually enjoy by the end of the original movie is a problem. And two, when you make that change and now you have an entirely different final act, and again, ruins the whole original story, that causes problems for me. I enjoyed how the first one ended. Now, there were a lot of things that happened to get that ending, unfortunately, and that's not something that I'll discuss on this podcast. But you cut out the main antagonist, You make one of the main people now a villain primarily and take away a lot of that humor at the end of the movie that ties it all together. You're not going to get my support. You're not going to put my butt in the seat to be able to watch this, which has been my biggest problem of all of these live actions they've come out with. The only one that's been, from my memory, spot on, almost shot for shot, was Jon Favreau's Jungle Book. That's it.
I want to say Jungle Book, Cinderella, and Beauty and the Beast were all done really well. And after that, it's not been great.
Now, I'm getting on a high horse, and I'm hoping this high horse stays riding. I really hope How to Train Your Dragon does show Disney how to do a live action. I really do. I love that story. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite animated movies. I'm not a fan they're doing live action, but from what they've been showing, it's very close. That's all I'll say.
All right. Closing thoughts, Robert. Closing thoughts.
I'm going to keep saying it, and I will say it several weeks from now. Movies are back. It's the summer. Last year was an absolute crapshoot for movies. There were a couple, oh, yeah, this is cool. But there weren't multiple weeks to be excited about. This weekend, you got Karate Kid. The following weekend, you get Ballerina. You're getting another Stephen King Life of Chuck movie. I mean, there are so many movies that are just coming and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming that I'm excited to go to the movies. I'm excited to see what people think. I'm excited to see what people say because movies right now are at some of their best.
Absolutely agree. I'm excited to see. I like Ralph Macchio. Being a kid of the 80s, man, like Karate Kid was my jam. I like Cobra Kai. It's done really well. So I'm in. I like Jackie Chan too. Come on. Who doesn't like Jackie Chan? You know I'm in. And then Ballerina. Anna de Armas. Kicking ass.
She's on my list of 5. She's on my list of 5.
If she's not on your list of 5, there's something wrong with you.
She's been on my list of 5 since the first movie she did with Keanu. And that movie is not child approved.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That I watched that movie. It's not a good movie at all. It's a very much a B movie, but I will watch it for research purposes.
Right, absolutely. I watch Oppenheimer for the same reason. You know, I get it.
You watched like the first 45 minutes of Oppenheimer. Let's be real, and then it's just.
I watched the whole thing. I've watched it twice.
3 hours of okay.
3 hours of my time I could not get back, but that's a really, really good movie. I enjoyed that.
It's a solid movie. Start to finish, the story is great, but yes, Florence Pugh in that is.
She should have won an Oscar. That's all I'm saying.
She absolutely should have, and she didn't really do much.
Best supporting actress. She supported.
I mean, hey, at this point, if we're giving out awards to Honora for basically being the same exact thing, like I don't see why we can't have it. So anyway.
Right. Man, let's finish up May. We are slowly approaching the dead season when NHL and NBA are both over, and we're left with baseball. So enjoy it while we have.
There's F1. I refuse to stand for that.
There's F1. I'm sure there's still some soccer in the world going on, and of course,
MLS mainly, but most of the soccer is on pause right now.
Maybe we'll go catch a Switchbacks game. Champions of whatever the league they're in. All right, guys, we love you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit us up on our socials. We'd be love to have a conversation about anything and everything sports related, or just some nonsense. You know, we're big fans of that. And I hope you guys spend that time with your friends, your family, your loved ones. We're out.
Don't take it for granted. We'll see y'all. Have a good night. Till next week. See ya.
Peace.